Well, today we're going to tie a nice little, just a little hollow tie bait fish imitation that I've been catching some fish on Lake Fork, and I don't ever seem to have enough of them. So I'm still doing a little editing back and forth here. Okay. This is just a simple little hollow tie, and I like a smaller hook with it. I'm catching smaller, not really big fish consistently with it. So I can use a one-aught. A lot of these are reclaimed hooks. And I'll go through my flies, and I'm sorry, you're going to hear some air conditioning going and a fan and a whole bunch of birds as we're sitting outside today, and it's Texas and it's summertime and it's hot. So I've got these different hooks right here. I have a 2 on my vise. We'll start out with that. We're going to tie them in a kind of a shady kind of color. I just use black and white. Just using mule, tail dyed mule deer tail. Get this under here. There it is. And then using some natural white right here. So we're going to start out with, first of all, we're going to get just a little kind of thread backing on here, right about the tip of the hook, or a little bit maybe closer to the, maybe a little in from the tip a little bit. And the first thing we want to do with that, of course, is we want to add a little dab of glue, just because if you don't, you get this thing all tied up and it'll start slipping. It's very irritating when you're fishing. So it kind of locks in. It starts the whole process of locking things together. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to put just a one piece of Flashaboo on there. And this is that kind of mirrored looking stuff. I don't know what they call it. I just want one piece of it. I don't want to overpower it. I'm going to take one piece. I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to lock it in. This is what happens when you get glue on your spool. Try that again. Okay. You have to feed that back in there. All right. Try that again. We're going to leave that wrap that was on there. We're going to add a whole new wrap. And then we'll trim that old thread back off. Oh, that's much better. Gee whiz, what a mess. Trying to get that old thread out of here so it doesn't gunk things up there. And hopefully I don't got the wrong one. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to start out with just some white, almost like a little tail on it. Probably going to go about, I'm going to cut it a little longer than the hook. It doesn't have to be too long. The main thing that I'm wanting with this is this sort of random lengths in here. I want the lengths to be random, natural looking. And I'm going to go ahead and distribute that around the hook. Okay. And we go ahead and do just a little lock wrap right here. Got a little thread that not quite right. It's messing up my hair. Oh, come on. It's what happens when you get old. You have to redo everything. Yeah, I've got to redo that. There we go. Okay. Sort of have that. I feel like that's locked in pretty good. Still want to put a little bit of glue on it just in case. All right. Now, what I'll do with these things, well, first I'm going to put one more little piece of black basically on top of that. I'm not hollow wrapping yet, hollow tying yet. I'm just sort of getting my tail set. I don't want it all black or all white. I want it to be kind of salt and pepper. Okay. I'm going to wrap up here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just take a few fibers of white. I'm going to just kind of lock them in here, right here in my hand. I'm going to take a few fibers of black, and I'm going to lock them in there. I'll get them together. And I'm going to just kind of spin them a little bit to just sort of blend them. There's no really easy way I found to do this. You just got to kind of get in here and kind of blend them as well as you can. But that's sort of the look you want. You want that sort of, I guess a salt pepper is a good way to describe it. Right here. Then we're going to do our first hollow tie. I'm going to wrap it twice. Pull down. Going to get it spread out. We want to make sure that all of our fibers are straight and evenly distributed. all the way around the hook. Now we're going to push them back. You can use a pin. I've got one. Here's one right here. And I'll just kind of push it back here. And then we're going to build a little thread dam right in front of that to get it where we want it. Now, I hold my finger right here where I want that thread to go. And then I can just take and wrap right against my finger, and I know I'm in the right spot. I can wrap a lot faster with that. I'm not having to kind of look at everything. Of course, you want to make sure you're not wrapping over onto these fibers. You want to wrap in front of them, and you're building a thread dam up to sort of to control their control how they lay back. That looks just right. Okay. I'm going to do kind of lock wrap right here. We're going to process all over again. Now, one of the things that we want to do is we want to keep adding in some flash in there as we go. And again, I'm just taking one strand. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm just going to tie them in like that. Now, I can take it and I can sort of split it up, and that's fine. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff with it if you want. This stuff's a little bit, it's almost like foil. And it's a little, sometimes it's a little hard to mess with. But you can get it there. Just kind of get it how you want it. I like it to be sort of distributed a little bit around it. There we go. It'll eventually lay down. Okay, so let's do it again. So we're going to take a small bundle of white. Not much at all. Don't get carried away with it. You can see this is a real thin piece. I know it's kind of hard to see against that white there, right there. I'll put it in here and kind of hold it in between my fingers. And I'm going to do the same thing with the black. Real small cut. Again, I don't want this fly to be I don't want to over tie too much material in it. I want it to be just right. I want it to, the lighter, look, the lighter you can make it, the better. It gives it better action. So now I have my, you can see where I have my fibers kind of blended. And just kind of clean them up here. And tie another. We'll come up here, wrap up about to the end of that thread. Going to tighten it down a little bit. I'm going to distribute it, make sure it's distributed evenly. Check it a lot. The more evenly you have this distributed, the better that thing's going to look in the water. Trust me, I've screwed up a lot of them. And what happens is you get out there and you start fishing with it. You notice that it looks like one side of the fly is over, has too much material, and the other side has too little material. Blah blah blah. It drives you crazy if you're like me. Um, I like it to be real even, so it really looks like the look I want in the water, which is the shape of a fish, but it's got to be tied a certain way to get that. This color on Lake Fork, and probably any lake that has a whole lot of shad, like we do, is very, very good color. I've had a lot of success with it. That looks about how I want it. So I've got it sort of, laid down a little bit. You can see it's tapering back. So here's the end of my tail right here. And here's the end of where I just tied that in. That's perfect. Exactly how I want it. So you want to sort of adjust them as you go. You can always leave this natural end. Don't trim it because it still has, you can still see, I don't know how well you can see in this video, but you can see that it's got a lot of taper to it. Natural taper, I should say. Put in another lock. Now we're going to add a little bit of glue. Make sure this baby doesn't fall apart. Don't do too much glue, but just, it doesn't take much. It really just takes a little drop because it soaks into these threads, this thread, and it ends up um, working just fine. Now, on our last tie, so you want to do a minimum of 3. So we've got our next tie will be our final tie, and it'll be our third one. We're going to make it a little bit thicker because we want it to have a little bit of a bulkhead. If you have a little bulkhead on this thing, I'm in tight quarters. I don't have much room to work around here, so I'm always knocking stuff off my table. It drives me nuts. So we have our little bulkhead. It helps disperse water when you're stripping this fly. And when that happens, of course, it gives it more movement in the water. So this final tie is going to be thicker than all the rest. I really try to mix that in there good. Even that up. And you can see when I get it tied, it's going to be right here on the end. So I'm going to, whoa, I'm going to mix that. Okay. You can see I'm losing a few fibers. That's okay. Now we're going to distribute it. Looks good. We'll take our little pin and push it back. And then we're going to build us a thread down. That's right on the, can still push this back a little bit. We're building that right up with that, the hook eye. Golly. Looking good. Okay. Throat's a little, I guess I got some, who knows what's flying around in the air this morning. Okay. Now, right now on Lake Fork, this pattern's working really well. It's June, middle of June, and the lake is full. So we have high water, higher than we're used to around here this time of year. And if I throw this in flooded grass, not in it, but around flooded grass in front of around anything growing, we have a lot of hydrilla coming up, a lot of coontail, and a lot of duckweed this year. A lot more stuff than we're used to. This little guy right here can be deadly because those, particularly the smaller bass, and when I say smaller, excuse me, anything under 18 inches probably, but there could be some bigger ones depending on what time of day you're there. But this is basically it. It's a fantastic fly. Now, if you'll take this and you'll run hot water over this and then let it dry, it'll form that, it'll help form that body that you want, which is sort of, when it's coming through the water, it's got a fish shape to it. And it can be really deadly. Now, this time of year, I'm going to find fish that are schooling. I'll turn this camera up here. There we go. Hello. I'm going to find fish that are schooling and feeding on brim, doing all kinds of a lot of movement. And so this is the guy that I want to be fishing with, this pattern anyway. I'll do this pattern in a bass color, and I'll do it in a yellow and an orange. At Lake Fork, for some reason, these fish love orange this time of year. So if you're, even regardless of if you're fly fishing or not, try that orange color because it can be pretty successful. Don't tell the big guys where you got that information. They'll kill me. If you like this video, please think about subscribing and commenting. Let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. I'll be doing some more of these now that I've finally figured out how to get my camera set up for it. That's been a challenge for me for a long time. And I think I'm finally at least enough that you can see what I'm doing. Have a great day. Catch a lot of fish. Go fishing. It's good for your soul.